let's do math. It's time. What I want you to do first is grab your dice cubes, your dot cubes, and then I want you to roll them like I'm going to roll mine, and we're going to review what we did yesterday. I got 2 5s. How cool is that? So what we want to do is you have a half piece of paper. I am going to write on a big piece of paper so that you can see it easier, okay? So I am going to write, and I'll write with a crayon. So the first one is 5. So 5. And then you have to write a plus sign. And the second one mine was 5. Now let's count them. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10. Wow. So that is what my number sentence is. Read it with me. 5 plus 5 equals 10. And then what you want to do is you want to roll your dice and then write your number sentence next to that. And so you can pause the video and do that. And when you're done, then you're going to come back and be ready for the worksheet. Actually, we're going to do a sample problem first, okay? So what we need to do first is think about what I have here. I am going to put them on the ledge down here and then move the camera a little bit so you can see better. Okay, so if you look carefully there, you see how many bears do I have that are blue? Ooh, I do. I have 2 that are blue. So I'm going to write that up here. And then we need a plus sign to figure out how many yellow ones I have. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to make a 4 next. And then you need an equal sign. And now let's count them all. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's how we can do that. And sometimes you want to draw the problem out. So I would need my blue crayons first. Let me see if I can find a blue crayon here. Oh, that one's cerulean. Let me see if I can find the real blue. That one's indigo. I have to keep looking. I have all my crayons in here. And the blue one is hiding on the bottom. Ah, this one does say blue. So I would have to draw 2 blue bears. I'm just going to draw their heads. So, and then I need eyes and a triangle noses. There we go. So 1 bear and another bear. Can you draw your bears with me? You want to use that half piece of paper you have yet. And if I forgot to put a half piece of paper in there, see if you can have a piece of paper from at home. And you want to draw 2 blue bears. And then you need yellow next. And my yellow crayon is broken. How sad. So I will use the bigger piece and start drawing my yellow bears. You want to draw your yellow bears while I'm drawing mine. It's harder to see my yellow bears, isn't it? I maybe should have picked a different color, but I think it will be okay. So I have 2 so far. Do you have some of yours drawn too? Okay, so I will hold this closer so you can see it better and maybe see the yellow bears. The yellow bears are kind of hard to see, especially since I picked yellow paper. Okay, so if you look carefully, you'll see the 2 blue bears up there and then the 4 yellow bears here. And so that helps you to figure out how to write the problem. So you have 2 blue bears plus 4 yellow bears equals 6 bears altogether. And that's what we'll be doing today on our worksheet. And so I want you to get out this. You're going to have this paper. You want to put your name on the top. I am going to draw on this paper because it'll be bigger. I'll be able to draw bigger so you can see better, okay? So I will read the problem from on here, and I will get a new piece of paper here. There we go. And I'll move the bears because we aren't using bears. Are you ready to start? Do you have your name on your paper? Perfect. Let's get started. It says Tanya has 2 yellow balloons and 1 red balloon. Draw the balloons. So we're going to do that part first. How many yellow did it say? 2, you're right. So I am going to make 2 yellow balloons over here. Make sure you put a string on your balloons so then they look more like balloons than just something else. So I have 2 yellow balloons. Kind of hard to see them, but they're right here over on this side. And now it said how many red balloons? Do you remember how many red? You're right, 1 red. So I found violet red. I have to keep looking. I need the real red one. Is this one real red? Perfect. I found my real red. And now I am going to draw 1 red balloon. You can draw your balloons any shape you want. Usually if you have a little bit of little lines at the bottom, that is where you tied it after blowing the air in, and then you can have your string hanging down so that somebody could grab it. So I am going to write the answer with my black crayon. So the question is, if you need more time, make sure you pause. But the question is, how many balloons does Tanya have altogether? So we could write a number sentence. Perfect. How many blue balloons were there? None. You're right. How many yellow balloons were there? 2. Perfect. So I'm going to write 2. You have to write yours below. I probably should have put mine below too. Maybe I will. There we go. 2 plus, how many red balloons? 1. And then you need that equal sign. And let's count them. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. You write that 3 last. So it should look like this. 2 plus 1 equals 3. And you want to write that right down here on this line right underneath this question. Okay? Because it says Tanya has 2 yellow balloons and 1 red balloon. Draw the balloons. So you should have the balloons in here. How many balloons does Tanya have altogether? And you need to write the numbers down here. Just like I wrote my number sentence, you want your number sentence right there on that line. So 2 plus 1 equals 3. If you need more time, you can pause the video and then start it up again. We are ready to read the next question. Jamal has 3 blue squares and 2 green squares. Draw the squares. So I'm going to draw on the other side of this. So I'm going to draw a line there. And it said 3 blue squares. I'm looking for my blue crayon again. And I found indigo again. But now I found blue. Did you find your blue crayon? Oh, good. Now, do you remember what a square looks like? Perfect. It's the same on all sides, right? And it has pointy corners. So see if you can make 4 squares. You need to make sure they have pointy corners. So I'm going to draw 3 blue squares. 1. You can draw yours while I'm drawing mine. 2 and 3. Notice mine aren't perfect, but they look pretty square. So you want to make sure they look more like a square than a rectangle, okay? After you get done with the 3 blue squares, what other color are we using? Oh, you remembered. We need green. And this one's yellow-green. I need to keep looking. Here's my green. So I found green, and it said 2 green. So now draw 2 green squares And yours all need to fit in here. So if you draw too big, what happens? You're right, they don't fit. Okay, so you want to draw medium to small. And I am going to draw 2 green squares. There we go. So now we need to answer the question on the bottom. It says, how many squares does Jamal have all together? So let's count them. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We can make a number sentence, right? So we are going to write the number sentence right on this line. You're going to write it right under that question right here. So you're going to write it right there. And I'll write it on mine. So I need the number 3 first because we had 3 blue. And then a plus sign. And how many green do we have? 2. And so we're going to write a 2 there. And then what do you need? Yes, an equal sign. And then let's count them to see how many we have all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, I just dropped my crayon. Now I can make a 5 here. So say the number sentence with me. 3 plus 2 equals 5. So that's what you should have on this line right there. I'm going to move this. You're going to write 3 plus 2 equals 5 right here. If you need more time, you can pause the video. And then we'll come back for the last one. The last one says, Sherry has 2 red balls, 2 blue balls, and 1 yellow ball. Draw the balls. So I'm not going to do it this time. You get to do it by yourself. So I said 2 red, 2 blue, 1 yellow. Now you want to draw those balls. If you need more time, you can pause the video. Oh, good, you're done. Did you draw 2 red, 2 blue, and 1 yellow ball? Now you want to do the number sentence. How many balls does Sherry have altogether? So, how many red? Write that number first. Then you need a little plus sign. How many blue? Write that number next. You need another plus sign. Oh, this is cool. So then, how many yellow? Then you need an equal sign. And then you want to count all the balls that you drew in your box and write that number last. You can pause the video if you need to, and then we'll go on to the back. We are on the back and we are ready to count money. Now, these are 4 different kinds of money. And we've learned about 4 different coins. So let's look at the first one. Now, who do you think that is? If you said Abraham Lincoln, you are right. So Abraham Lincoln is on the penny. So let's count them. Ready? 1, 2, 3. So you get to write 3 cents here. This is the only one I'm going to do with you. I will help you identify each coin though, and then you can finish the rest. So these look a little bit bigger, and that's the guy with the ponytail that doesn't have much ribbon on it and no curl. And so that guy is, you're right, Thomas Jefferson, and he's on a nickel. So what do you count by when you count nickels? 5. Perfect. So count by 5s and count the nickels, and then you want to write that number right here. You can pause the video if you need to. And then let's go on to this. Oh, that's the guy with short hair. What coin has the guy with short hair? Do you remember? His name is Franklin Roosevelt. He's on the dime. So when you have a dime, you count by 10s. You're right. So count by 10s. And then write your number right here. If you need to pause, you can pause and come back for the last one. And the last one is the coin we learned last week. It's the new one. You remember that guy? His name is George Washington. That has a little curl right there, and he has a bigger ribbon. And this one's the biggest coin, isn't it? It looks much bigger than even the nickel. And so that is a quarter. And you have to think about what it's worth and write that down, okay? So 1/4 is worth, you can write that down, and then you will be all done. And that's the end of our math lesson for today.